I'm Crystal from a small town in Alaska. Press like and subscribe. Ever since I was born, I've lived with my rich uncle and aunt and 5 girl cousins, but they've always made me feel like I didn't belong with them. For starters, all my cousins had blonde hair and blue eyes, and I had dark curly hair and brown eyes. They always said I wasn't pretty enough to be part of the family.
Mirror. Mirror on the wall. Who's the ugliest of them all?
Crystal, your eyes are the color of poop, and look at your hair. I wonder how many birds sleep inside that nest.
They were the meanest, but I had no one else. You see, my aunt and uncle wouldn't even send me to school and just kept me on my toes all day doing house chores. But I'd secretly taught myself to read. I began reading more and more, and all that knowledge just amazed me. One time when I was 16, my uncle found me reading my cousin's books, and he instantly snatched them from me.
Do you have any idea how expensive these are, and you're using them for free?
Why are you always so awful to me?
Because you're kind of weird and not really one of us.
I pushed him aside and ran out of the room. I just hated it here. A few weeks later, it was Christmas, and I found 5 huge gift boxes under the tree, and another one the size of a matchbox of course, that was mine, and all it had inside was a pinch of salt.
Just a reminder to add the right amount of salt while cooking our meal.
Everyone laughed, and I felt like smashing their heads into the wall. While I was busy cooking, a lawyer visited our house. Curious, I followed him to the study, and when I heard his conversation with my aunt and uncle, I was shook.
That girl Crystal is worth billions. If you want to keep the money her parents left, you should legally adopt her.
Wait, what? I was a freaking billionaire. As soon as the lawyer left, my aunt came running into the kitchen and literally carried me away to the lounge. I was made to sit in Uncle's armchair while he snatched all my cousin's presents and gave them to me.
You girl, give Crystal a foot rub. You, the other one, make her a hot chocolate with extra marshmallows. And the rest, we're changing the dinner menu to all of Crystal's favorites, and you're cooking now. Chop, chop.
Wow, just wow. All of a sudden, I was loved and pampered to bit. I decided now was the time to get the one thing I really wanted.
Oh, sweetheart, no. School is such a dangerous place for girls.
But all my cousins are girls.
They are morons. They're not as precious as you, Pumpkin. We'll get you the best tutor.
Well, that was better than nothing. At least I'd get to learn. But the next night, while I was getting water from the kitchen, I overheard them talking.
How long do we need to pamper that ugly duck?
Don't worry, once we get her money, we'll ship her off to some orphanage.
Who even wants that hairy kid?
God, I knew they were being nice to me because of my money, but these greedy jerks weren't even planning to let me stay. That very night, I packed my bags and ran away, taking the first train out of our town. On the train, an old lady sat next to me, and she told me I was really pretty. She sounded kind, and when we got down, she asked me to join her for a meal at her place. This was the first time someone was treating me nicely without knowing about my wealth. When I got to her mansion, it seemed like she was some billionaire herself. I met some girls older than me, and they all looked really happy. Apparently, the kind woman had given jobs to all of them and even let them stay here. I wondered if I could stay too, and to my surprise, she gladly accepted me. Weeks passed by, and all was good, until one day, the lady woke me up rudely at 3 a.m.
Dress up and get ready.
What? Why? It's not even sunrise yet.
What are you? A chicken waiting for sunrise. Be out already, or I'm going to kick your lazy butt.
OMG! Suddenly, the fairy godmother sounded more like a Hammond. She pulled me down to the main hall where the other girls had already gathered, and then she started explaining how we'd be breaking into some house to steal stuff soon. Wait a second, she was a professional thief? Oh my God! I couldn't believe I've been living with a gang of robbers for weeks! I wasn't going to be a part of this. I slipped away and used the old lady's phone to report her to the police. When they turned up to arrest her and the gang, one of the girls turned to me and said,
I always knew you didn't belong with a bunch of thieves. Here, take this and go see this man. He's a very kind fellow who wants to adopt a daughter.
And so I escaped and made my way to Mr. Hammond's address, and, well, this guy seemed richer, an old Hammond. When a butler led me to him, I explained that I had no family, and some girl gave me his details, and he was overjoyed.
Oh my God, yes. I've been waiting to adopt a little girl. I'm so happy to meet you. And Crystal, that's such a beautiful name. Welcome to your new home.
And just like that, my life turned around. I was immediately led to a gorgeous room and given a brand new wardrobe, and when I saw the massive library in the house, I flipped. Oh, sir, you don't know how much I love books. All I've ever wanted is to go to school and learn as much as I can.
Well, my dear, that can be easily arranged.
He made a quick phone call and told me I'd be starting school next week. Was this for real? Even though he seemed lovely, I didn't trust him enough yet to tell him about my parents' money. I knew what that did to people. One morning while I was still asleep, someone scared the heck out of me by jumping onto the bed. And then I saw a girl a few years older than me. She was screaming.
OMG, who are you and what are you doing in my bed?
Dad.
Dad? Mr. Hammond came running, and it turned out that the girl was his daughter Pearl, who was now in university.
I just came home to get some stuff. So what? I left and you adopted some ugly weirdo and gave her my room?
Don't be rude. And yes, I'm all alone now, and I'd like some company. Now say hello to your sister.
Sister? I don't know which slum you got her from. Just get her out of my room.
She stormed off, and Mr. Hammond apologized to me. It's okay. I know I'm ugly. My cousins made fun of my hair and eyes all the time. It's nothing new.
What are you talking about? Your hair and eyes are lovely. I only see a girl who's beautiful inside and out. But let me take you to a salon today. Those people will work magic with your hair.
And they really did. They trimmed and styled my wild hair and got my eyebrows done. And for the first time ever, I actually felt pretty. I was so happy I hugged Mr. Hammond. Thanks, Dad. Wait, did I just call him Dad? Maybe I was starting to like him a bit too fast. I had an amazing first day at school. Everyone was telling me I was gorgeous. A few boys even said my warm brown eyes were adorable. All that was great, except when I got home I found Pearl had moved back in. I'd try to be friends with her, but she was impossible. I tried talking to her at dinner, but she just gave me silent glares. When I asked her to pass me the water, she flung the whole jug at my face.
Pearl.
What, Dad? She didn't want it on her face. Oops, my bad.
One day, during the first class, our teacher kept getting annoyed because of some croaking frog sounds. We all looked around and couldn't find any. Just then, a boy put his ear next to my bag and said,
I think it's coming from here.
I opened the bag and dropped it. Immediately, a dozen big frogs jumped out, and there was almost a stampede with everyone screaming and running out. As the teacher fled, she tripped over a chair and fell down really hard. She hurt her arm, and I got a month's attention for my prank. This was all Pearl's doing. I went to her room that day and asked her why she was bent on ruining things for me.
I'll drop this innocent face, Crystal. I know you're just some gold digger and my dad is your target. Just because he's too soft and foolish to see the bad in people doesn't mean I am too. I'll make sure you don't get a penny of my wealth.
She was crazy. All I wanted was a family. Mr. Hammond had a grand pool party planned, and I was so excited my jaw dropped when I saw the guests arrive. Actors, singers, and other glamorous people. I was dazzled. Everyone was having a great time, but as some of the guests started to leave, we suddenly heard a woman screaming at the butler.
What do you mean you can't find my diamond ring and my husband's watch? I gave that stuff to you for safekeeping, before going in the pool.
The butler said he'd put all the guests' belongings in Mr. Hammond's study, but they were all gone. Everyone went crazy, and there was nearly a riot.
Ladies, gentlemen, something like this has never happened before, and I assure you I won't rest till everyone's belongings are returned. You have my word.
As the angry guests went out mumbling and threatening Mr. Hammond, he ordered the servants to strip the house down. Only 10 minutes later, a maid came running with my backpack. She turned it over, and all the rich people's things fell out.
Sir, Miss Crystal's bags were packed. It looks like she was planning to leave.
I was horrified. Side Mr. Hammond looked shocked as I protested that I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, Daddy, what did you expect from someone like her? I always knew she'd do something like this. We need to call the police.
I walked up to Mr. Hammond and looked him straight in the eye. I know I'm just a stranger and not really your daughter, so you'll choose to believe Pearl's words over mine. You can do whatever you want, but just know that your kindness means far more to me than money or things ever could, and I would never do anything to harm you. Suddenly, Mr. Hammond took my hand.
You are my daughter, and I do believe you.
He turned to Pearl with a furious face.
Pearl, if you don't want me to stop paying for your credit cards and cut you out of my will, leave now. I don't want to see your face till you've graduated university.
Pearl stared at him and shot, then screamed angrily and left. I was so touched by Mr. Hammond's words, I finally decided to tell him about my inheritance and my greedy family. He was shocked, and the next thing I knew, he had legally adopted me, and we went in person to tell my family the news. Their faces were just priceless. I was the owner of my money now, and I had big plans for it. I set up a school for poor kids, and now I teach there whenever I can. I kick Dad's car again and again. I hate them. I hate them so much. They just love making me miserable. They make fun of me. They're mean to me. They think I'm not special. But I'll find out what makes me special. One day, everyone will love me and they'll see. Hi, I'm Betty, and I hate my family. I'm the youngest child, and I have a mean older sister, Emily. My parents never wanted me, and they never failed to let me know that.
Aw, man, I told you we shouldn't have kept the baby. Just look at her. She's so ugly. I'm not taking that thing in my house.
That's what my dad said when I was born.
Oh, shut up. Stop being so dramatic. She can be useful in the house.
On my 10th birthday, I asked my mom why they don't celebrate my birthday like they do Emily's.
Oh, don't you know? We didn't plan for you, and we don't want you. Also, we look like a royal family. And just look at you. You look like a maid.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but she wasn't finished.
I think it's time you start earning your keep in this house. Starting tomorrow, you're doing all the house chores. Since you're old enough to ask for a birthday party, you're old enough to work.
I knew I wasn't beautiful like Emily. I think I wasn't really beautiful at all. But something down in my soul told me that I'm special in some way. Not bragging, but I just knew it. I just had to find it. The next day, I was napping when my sister barged into my room and slammed the door. I woke up immediately, feeling really startled. She stood by the door with a sneaky smile on her face.
Oh, poor baby. Are you scared? I'm so sorry I woke you up.
I was so angry. I knew she wasn't sorry. She got a thrill out of making me miserable. She was always trying to embarrass me at school, too. One morning, while I was getting ready for school, she entered my room with a yellow sundress and threw it at me.
Here, you can wear this. It's too outdated for me now, but it's still better than anything you have.
I knew immediately that she gave me that dress because she wanted to humiliate me. Sure, I replied. So I changed some things about the dress to make it more fashionable, and then I paired it with black boots when I walked into class. Everyone was staring at me. I could tell they were impressed by my outfit and sense of fashion. I was so happy. After class, when Emily saw me in the hall, she looked shocked and horrified.
How dare you do that to my dress?
With that, she stormed off angrily, and I felt even happier. One day, I saw Emily going through Mom's cupboard and walking away with a box. Of course, they wouldn't mind her taking anything she wanted. But a couple of days later, Mom barged into my room with Dad and Emily right behind her.
Accusing me of stealing her jewelry.
I told her I didn't do it. I pointed at Emily. Why don't you ask your precious daughter? I saw her taking it. Emily gave me an evil smile, and I started to feel suspicious.
Emily would never do that. I'm going to search your room, and if I find it, girl, you'll wish you were never born.
What an irony! She searched my room and found the jewelry. I was dumbfounded. Emily must have planted it in my room. I just stood there speechless.
You thief.
Emily was giggling, and Dad started screaming at me. No matter how many times I said I hadn't stolen it, he just wouldn't believe me. He told me I was grounded for 2 weeks with no phone and no lunch money. As if that wasn't bad enough, he said I had to clean the house from top to bottom. I looked at my dad with hatred. He pampered my mom and Emily, but treated me like dirt. I couldn't take it anymore, so I screamed at them. I hate you. I hate you guys. They looked shocked because I'd never stood up to them before. Just you watch. I'll find what makes me special and people will love me for it. I stormed out of the room and ran outside to my dad's car and kicked it. It felt good. A week after that, I was looking for my math assignment everywhere. I asked Emily if she had taken it, but she said no. Of course, I didn't trust her. So I waited till she went out with her friends, and then I sneaked into her room. I wasn't surprised when I found it under her bed next to her headphone. I decided to take that too. That's when I discovered my love for music. Whenever I was upset and wanted to escape my family, I would go into my room and listen to songs on the iPod. I would sing along, and it would really calm me down. One day in the cafeteria, I was walking to a table when Emily suddenly threw something on the floor. Before I could stop myself, I had stepped on a banana peel, and I slipped with my lunch flying everywhere. I heard someone say,
"What a clumsy fool."
I was so embarrassed, I just ran out of there. After that day, I started eating in the school library all by myself. One day, during lunch break, I was listening to music on my iPod as usual. And I started singing along when I heard a voice say,
"Oh my, you have such an angelic voice."
I turned around to see it was the school librarian, Mrs. Shepherd. She looked really impressed, but I didn't believe her. "Thank you, but I don't think there's anything special about my voice." She told me to sing it again, and this time, she recorded it on her phone. I'd never thought about that. She played it back, and I heard the most beautiful tone. At that moment, I realized I'd discovered my gift. I was so ecstatic, I hugged her and said, Thank you so much, so much. I've wanted to have something special my whole life, and you've made me realize what it is. I rushed home to tell my family about my singing ability. They just stared at me for a moment, and then burst out laughing.
What an attention seeker you are, Betty. Just stop making stuff up. You're never going to be anyone special.
After the jewelry incident, I hadn't been able to forgive Dad for not believing me and treating me badly. And he was just doing it again. I wanted to hurt him as much as he had hurt me, so I decided to call his company and accuse him of theft. Dad worked as an account manager for a business firm, and I wasn't exactly sure if he had stole from the company. But someone as horrible as him must be shady, and I wanted him investigated. At the end of my junior year, I was singing in my room when my sister screamed from her room,
Stop squawking like a bird.
I rolled my eyes and yelled, "You would know, since you screech like one." Just then, there was a knock at our main door. I ran to open it and found 2 male cops standing there. One of them asked,
"Is this the Blackwell residence?"
Everyone was in the hall by now, and the cops walked straight over to Dad and said he was under arrest for embezzlement. The company he worked for had discovered that he had been moving their money to an offshore account. Before the cops left, they asked me how I knew my dad was stealing money. I told them I had my suspicions. My family couldn't believe what they were hearing. Dad started screaming at me.
You ungrateful girl. You called the cops on me. I hate you.
I can't believe you. I should have listened to your father when he said we shouldn't keep you.
My sister could only scream and cry. I couldn't care less. After Dad was sentenced to jail, we became the talk of the town, and everyone looked at us with contempt. Mom decided to move us to a small town where we could start afresh. I was so excited because I didn't really have friends in school, because my sister had made everyone think I was a loser. The day we moved to our new house,
Don't get yourself too excited, young lady. You'll have to fend for yourself now. Now that you've sent your dad away, I'm no longer responsible for you. You should be grateful I haven't disowned you.
I rolled my eyes. I don't expect anything less. The next day, I started looking for a job, and I eventually found one in a small antique store as a salesperson. When I was walking back home, I heard someone singing, and I traced the voice to a guy in the park. He sounded beautiful. I sat next to him on the bench and started singing along. He seemed startled, but didn't stop. And before I knew it, we'd gathered a crowd. Surprisingly, that became the beginning of my music career. After the performance, the guy introduced himself.
My name is Zach. You have a really nice voice. I've never drawn as big a crowd as you did today.
I was so flattered, I could only smile. That night, I went home with a skip in my step. Mom noticed my smiley face and asked if I'd gotten a job. I couldn't help spilling out the reason for my excitement, but Mom just rolled her eyes, and Emily nastily said,
"The townspeople must be deaf, and I'm sure this Zach guy is better than you."
"You're just jealous because I have talent, and you can't sing a note to save your life." She looked like she wanted to strike me dead. The next day, as I was working at the antique store, I started singing when I thought I was all alone. Just then, the owner came out of the back room.
"You have a great singing voice. You should meet my son. He loves to sing, too."
I was surprised to hear that, but I said I would love to meet him. He called his son, and I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw Zach. We both laughed, then told his dad how we had already met once before. And every evening since that day, we would go to the park and sing. We started making good money, and the townspeople were so friendly and kind to me. Zach welcomed me into their home, and his family became my family. During my senior year at school, I decided to participate in the annual talent show. I was dressing up at home for my performance when my sister locked me in the room. I screamed and banged on the door. "Open this door right now!" She didn't reply. I kept banging on the door. "I will be late for the show, you moron!"
"Give me money and I'll open the door."
She was unbelievable. "You dumb fool. It's not my fault you're so spoiled you can't work to earn your own money." I became frustrated and threw my chair at the door. She wanted the money I'd been saving to go to college. I vowed I wouldn't ever share anything with her, even if we were the last 2 humans on Earth. I finally escaped through the window without injuries, and I made it to school just in time. I performed really well, and at the end of the show, an elegant, well-dressed woman walked up to me and said,
"You have a great gift. The world needs to know about it."
She gave me a card and told me she would love to offer me a music scholarship. Turned out she was one of the directors at Juilliard, who and was invited by Zach's dad to watch my performance. It was such an amazing surprise. That day was joyous, and the whole town was thrilled for me. Well, everyone except my family, and I don't care about them.
Hey friends, I'm Greta from New York. Please like and subscribe. I was born in a small town to a single mom who always celebrated my interests and made sure I felt valued since I was a little girl. I've always loved singing and performing, and Mom always supported me. When I was 8, I participated in my school's talent show with a singing act. I was so excited. But when I got on stage, the nerves hit me and I started shaking like a tree in the wind. And when I looked out into the audience and saw my mom smiling up at me, I knew I could face my fears and give a great performance.
Don't worry, honey. You've got this.
Okay? Yeah.
You're my honey bun.
I used to get some stage fright when I was younger. I loved singing more than anything in the world, but sometimes my nerves got the best of me. All of that went away after my friends told me how good I was.
You're like so talented.
Really?
Totally. I wish I could sing like you.
With my mom and friends supporting me, I felt unstoppable. So when all that was taken away, it was, well, difficult. When I was 13, I got the opportunity to audition for a prestigious performing arts high school called Cole House. I came in prepared with my very favorite song.
You're my honey bun, sugar plum, pumpy.
Incredible. Superbly performed.
It had been my dream ever since I was 8 to attend. So I was thrilled when they offered me a spot the following fall semester. Cole House was all the way in New York City. I'd only ever been there once to see the Phantom of the Opera on Broadway, so the idea of going there to live was intimidating. It was a boarding school, so I would be away from home for the first time in my life. My home friends wouldn't be joining me. They were all staying back to start regular high school in her hometown, but they were so excited for me.
Go get them, Greta.
We can't wait for you to take NYC by storm.
It would also be the first time my mom and I lived apart. Though I hated the idea of being away from her, I knew I needed to follow my dreams. And of course, my mom was super supportive.
I'm so proud of you, honey.
She dropped me off at the train station and waved goodbye.
See you in a few months, my Broadway star.
As soon as I stepped foot in Manhattan, all sorts of doubts started creeping in. What if I don't make any friends? I'm not a good enough singer for performing arts high school. Maybe I should just go back home. My fears just got bigger and louder when I stepped foot in my new school. It was gorgeous, with high vaulted ceilings and brightly painted classrooms. Just as I was looking up at the beautiful stained glass windows, I was suddenly shot to the ground by a pretty girl.
Oh, sorry I didn't see you there.
How rude. Could she tell I was out of place here? I didn't have too much time to think about it because my first class started in 2 minutes. I ran down the hallway just in time for the bell to ring and sat down in the last open chair right across from the girl who shoved me. Just my luck.
I see you've met Lena. She's a pill.
A boy sitting right next to me with curly hair and a cute smile put out his hand.
Hi, I'm Daryl.
I'm Greta. Nice to meet you.
You must be new here.
Was it so obvious? It was like I had a sign on my forehead screaming, "New girl." Daryl must have noticed my concern.
I just haven't seen you around here. Oh, I would have noticed a pretty girl like you.
Yeah, I just moved here from Scaniatolis.
Never heard of it.
It's a tiny town. I really love it there, but I couldn't miss the opportunity to go to school here.
Cole House is pretty incredible, and this is my favorite class. Mrs. Larimer is the bomb.
Just then, a tall woman with a long braid and huge brown glasses entered the room.
Hello, class. I see some familiar faces. I see some shiny new faces. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mrs. Larimer, and this is Singing for the Stage.
I looked around the classroom and saw a lot of smiling, eager faces. It seems like a lot of people really liked Mrs. Larimer.
I hear we have a new student in school this year. Class, let's give a big Cole House welcome to Greta.
Hi, Greta.
Nice to meet you.
Just then, Lena chimed in.
Can't wait to hear you sing.
I felt like she was taunting me, like she felt she was better than me. What was this girl's problem? Before I could think about it too much, Mrs. Larimer was addressing the class.
Who's ready to present their audition cut?
All of a sudden, every student reached into their backpack and pulled out binders full of sheet music. I looked down into my backpack. There was nothing but a pencil box, a notebook, and a bagged lunch in there.
Did you not bring your music book?
I couldn't believe Lena was calling me out in front of all these people. I just wanted to blend into the brightly colored wallpaper.
Don't worry, it's your first day. No one expects you to be ready to perform.
Greta, it's your first day, so we'll give you some time to settle and you can perform for us next week.
Thanks, Mrs. Larimer. I shot a look at Lena so she would get the picture to just leave me alone. She caught my eye and smiled. What? Why would she tease me and then smile? What kind of mind games was she playing? Still holding my gaze, Lena's hand shot up in the air.
I'm ready, Mrs. Larimer.
Great, Lena. You have the floor.
Lena gave the pianist her sheet music and started singing. I wanted to hate it, but she had an unmistakably gorgeous voice. When she finished singing, the class applauded.
Great job, Lena. I can tell you've been keeping up with your vocal exercises this summer.
Mrs. Larimer gave Lena some constructive criticism, but I was distracted. I felt like screaming. Yeah, she has a beautiful voice, but that doesn't give her an excuse to be rude. But I just kept it bottled up inside, sitting politely.
Who would like to go next?
I wondered how anyone could feel confident following such a great performance. I would certainly be intimidated singing after Lena. I was wary of her, but there was no denying that she was a beautiful singer. Before I had too long to think about it, Daryl was standing up from his chair.
I'll go, Mrs. Larimer.
Daryl handed his sheet music to the pianist and sang a little bit to relay the tempo of his song. Even just hearing that much, I could tell Daryl was good, really good. The pianist nodded, and Daryl took his place in the center of the classroom. He looked at me and winked. I swear I turned bright red. Did everyone see that? Lena looked back at me, scowling. Daryl began his song. It was incredible. He sang with such confidence. The vibrations of his voice pulsated, making it feel like the room itself was breathing. I looked around, and I could tell everyone else was enjoying themselves as well. Everyone, that is, except Lena.
Well done, Daryl. That song really suits you.
Thanks, Mrs. Larimer.
Mrs. Larimer gave Daryl some adjustments and had him sing parts of the song over again. If this is what my new school was going to be like, just listening to cute boys sing, I had nothing to be worried about. I was starting to like it here. That evening, I was settling into my new bedroom in the dorms. As I was rounding the corner with some of my favorite snacks from the corner store, I heard a familiar voice.
Hi, Greta.
I couldn't believe it. Lena was my next-door neighbor. I was going to have to share a wall with her for the entire school year. I could feel my blood boiling under my skin. Hi, Lena.
Is this your first time in NYC?
She was smirking. What did she think she was better? Better than me just because she lived here longer than I did? I had to take a deep breath to control myself. No, actually, I came here to see Phantom of the Opera years ago.
I love Phantom. I've seen it like 7 times.
Okay, now she was bragging. Whatever, there was no reason to get worked up. I was just going to remove myself from the situation. That's really cool for you, Lena. And then I shut my bedroom door. The following week, when I got into the singing for the stage class, I made sure to bring my very own music book with me. I was ready to finally perform for my new classmates.
Greta, over here.
I looked over to see Daryl beckoning me towards him. He had saved the seat next to him with his backpack. Wow, cute, talented, and thoughtful. This guy seemed too good to be true. Lena looked at Daryl from across the room and rolled her eyes. I plopped down in the seat Daryl saved for me. What was her problem with me?
Don't let Lena give you a hard time. This is kind of awkward, but she and I actually used to date.
I was shocked. How could such a lovely guy date such a cruel girl? As if he could read my mind, Daryl responded.
Yeah, I know. She was actually really nice when we started dating, and she has such a gorgeous voice. We loved singing duets together, but things didn't work out, and now it seems like she's taken it out on you. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. I appreciate you telling me. I had so many more questions for Daryl, but before I got a chance to ask any of them, Mrs. Larimer came into the room.
Okay, class, let's get ready to sing. Greta, have you had time to prepare your audition cut?
I was ready. I had been practicing all weekend, but now I felt so nervous. I clutched my music binder to my chest, willing myself to disappear behind it.
Break a leg, Greta.
My vision blurred until all I could see was Lena's stupid, big, smug face smirking up at me. All of a sudden, I felt like I was 8 years old again. My voice caught in my throat, and I couldn't stop my hands from shaking. Wished my mom was here to give me a reassuring smile. I longed for words of support from my home friends. I searched for Daryl among the sea of unfamiliar classmates, hoping he would provide me with some fortitude. He'd been so sweet to me this past week. He was the only person who seemed interested in being my friend. But when I scanned the room, I was shocked to see Daryl flirting with another girl.
Oh, Daryl, you're so funny.
She was giggling and looking up at me. Was I being paranoid, or were they making fun of me? Tears started in my eyes and my throat clamped down. I don't be able to sing a single note. I ran out of the classroom before my body betrayed me, and I let anyone see me cry. I ran down the hallway and slipped into the bathroom. I was finally alone. Leaning against the cold door, I let the sobs escape.
Greta, is that you?
What the heck was she doing here? Did she just want to rub it in? How I came all the way to NYC and couldn't even sing in a singing class? I felt like my brain was a volcano and lava was about to seep out of my ears. Lena, leave me alone. Haven't you already done enough?
What are you talking about?
I know I'm a failure. You don't need to tell me.
You're not a failure. You know, my first time in singing for the stage, I got so nervous I sang my whole song off key.
What? Was Lena trying to console me? Why are you telling me this?
Because I like you, and I don't want you to feel embarrassed.
You like me? Then why have you been tormenting me all week?
Tormenting you? What are you talking about?
You tripped me on my first day.
I didn't mean to trip you. I'm nearsighted and my glasses haven't come in yet.
I didn't see you until I ran into you.
I'm so embarrassed.
Oh well, what about when you talked down to me in the dorms?
I just wanted to get to know you. You seemed so cool, and I was new last semester, so I know how scary it can be to make new friends. I didn't mean to make you feel belittled. I'm sorry.
But Daryl said you didn't like me because you and him used to date.
Oh, that's so like Daryl. He pursued me last semester when I was the new student. I was so excited to make a new friend, and then it got romantic. But as soon as another new girl started here, he broke up with me. It's like he only has eyes for new girls. I just try to ignore him, but it's difficult because he has so many friends, and I just know he's telling them his own story about why we broke up.
I was remembering my first week with a whole new perspective. Suddenly, every mean thing Lena did to me was a misunderstanding or a kind gesture. I felt so foolish to have believed Daryl. I emerged from behind the bathroom stall and looked at Lena with new eyes. She looked so apologetic. I embraced her in a big hug, and before I knew it, we were both laughing at how silly the past week had been.
Do you think you're ready to get back to class?
Yeah, actually, when we got back to Mrs. Larimer's classroom, I could tell Daryl had been talking about me. Suddenly, his smile wasn't sweet, but a cruel smirk.
Hi, Greta. I'm glad to see you back in class. Are you ready for your song?
Seeing Daryl, I felt that familiar feeling of dread wash over me. But I looked over at Lena, and she gave me a reassuring nod and a warm smile. I'm ready. I closed my eyes and started to sing. I felt a quiver in my voice at first, but then it got stronger and stronger, and soon I was just lost in the lyrics and the music. When the last note ended and I opened my eyes, everyone erupted in applause. Some people stood up while cheering and clapping, and some people were crying, including our teacher. Even Daryl looked stunned.
Greta, your voice is so pure and beautiful. I think I can say for everyone that you've really moved us, and we're honored to have you here.
Lena leapt forward and gave me a bear hug, and finally, I felt at home at my new school.
Hi, I'm Alicia, and I'm about to tell you how I met the love of my life. But before we get into that, please like and subscribe. If there's one thing you have to know about me, it's that I wasn't an ordinary little girl. Being raised by a single father who was an ex-army officer does that to you. I had rules, discipline, and responsibility drilled into me since I was very young. And growing up, I found other kids my age really immature.
I don't know why he'd break up with me. I wore the clothes he liked, woke up at 5 every morning to do my hair because he liked them curly, and pretended to love watching wrestling.
Excuse me, but I need to get that muffin.
Can't you see that I'm crying? My boyfriend just broke up with me.
I'm so sorry. You know, it reminds me of the time my dad took me for this obstacle course, and I twisted my ankle so badly. The doctors told me I'd never be able to walk again, but I didn't lose hope. And here I am.
How is that the same thing?
It's not because that was an actual problem, but yours is just a bunch of high school nonsense. Now move your butt, please. Needless to say, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I didn't care either. My life was all sorted out. Graduate school, get into a good college, work and retire. But then I turned 18 and met Arthur. He was a transfer student from Greece, and boy, was he dreamy. The first time I met him was in gym class. We were playing basketball, and I was so lost in looking at him. I totally missed the ball, and it hit me right in the face. I fell on my butt, and Arthur came running.
Are you okay? You're bleeding.
It's nothing. I'm used to much worse. On second thoughts, I might need a doctor. Arthur smiled and carried me to the nurse's office. The entire time I was there, he sat next to me, and later, he dropped me home. We became friends after that, and slowly, I fell for him. He was smart, mature, and sweet. If there was one guy I wanted to date, it was him. So I decided to ask him out, except... myself further. After that epic failure, I turned to step number 2. Dress up nice and behave like a total diva. And the next morning, it took me 2 hours to get ready. I thought I looked great. Except the moment I entered, everyone started pointing at me and laughing.
Oh my god! Why is she dressed like a peacock?
What is that on her face? Did someone finally punch her for being a know-it-all?
I was so embarrassed, I immediately turned around and ran for the bleachers. I was still sulking when Arthur walked up to me.
If you rub your lips anymore, they're gonna fall off.
This lipstick won't come off. Ugh, it's so annoying.
Let me help you. Also, I'm not saying you don't look good with makeup, but you actually look way prettier without it.
Really? Does that mean you'll go out with me?
Are you serious? I wanted to ask you out for the longest time, but everyone in school told me you're a cold-hearted witch. Cold-hearted girl who hates people.
That's not true. I hate dumb people, there's a difference. So you and I dinner tomorrow?
I'd love to.
My first date with Arthur was perfect, and he told me that his parents were divorced like mine, and he lived with his mom and 9-year-old brother Charlie. We started dating soon after and spent all our time together. People in school were also nicer to me since I was Arthur's girlfriend. And even Dad liked him a lot. Life was just better with him in until things started getting weird. Some days he would come to school looking like a half-dead zombie, and other days he would skip school altogether. His grades were slipping. We were barely seeing each other, and I knew something was wrong. So one day, when he canceled our date, I went to his place with his favorite ice cream. But when I knocked on the door, some kid opened up. Hi, you must be Charlie. Is your brother around?
Is that ice cream? Gimme it.
Hey, that's not very nice. Say, ma'am, could I please have that tub of ice cream repeat after me?
Sure. Ahem. Ma'am, give me the ice cream or I'll kick you.
And Charlie kicked me on my shin, snatched the tub, and ran away. As I yelled out in pain, Arthur came running downstairs.
Alicia, why didn't you tell me you were coming?
When would I tell you? You hardly talk to me these days.
I know, I'm sorry. It's just that Mom's getting married again. The guy doesn't want Charlie in his life, and Mom loves her stupid boyfriend so much that she decided to move out, leaving me in charge.
Why wouldn't you tell me that before?
Because it's embarrassing and I didn't want to drag you in my mess.
I'm already a part of your mess and we'll get through it together. Okay, I know that was a bit cheesy, but Arthur looked like he was gonna break in a million pieces, and I really wanted to help him. Besides, how bad could a 9-year-old be? Turns out, a lot! Because Charlie was a total devil. He would cry over the smallest things, throw tantrums if he didn't get his way, and would constantly butt into my dates with Arthur. We hardly spent any time alone. I was pretty sure he just hated me. Like, one time, I was waiting for Arthur in his living room, and Charlie kept giving me death stares. Something on my face?
I was just trying to figure out how someone can look like a horse and a camel at the same time.
That's kind of mean, Charlie.
And you're kinda ugly. Anyway, have fun on the date. It won't last long.
And 10 minutes into the date, Arthur got a call from the babysitter that Charlie had locked himself in the washroom, and we had to run back. Then another time, it was Dad's birthday, and I had planned a really cool surprise for him. I'd invited all his old friends from the army. Arthur helped me deck up the place, and I was arranging the cake when Charlie walked up to me.
Oh wow, this cake looks yummy. Give me a piece.
Only after my dad cuts it.
But I'm hungry now.
Then eat something else. There's a whole pizza on the counter.
Are you stupid? I said I want the cake.
Charlie tried to get the cake, but I got in his way. He shoved me away, and I accidentally knocked into the cake, which crashed to the floor.
Whoopsie, guess no one gets to eat it.
What happened? I heard some noise.
Your brother ruined my surprise.
I just asked her to give me some cake.
And I asked you to wait.
Relax, Alicia. We'll get a new cake. I'm sure your dad won't know.
That's not the point, Arthur. Your brother is a spoiled brat. He needs some discipline. You put that kid on a leash or I swear I will.
He's my brother, not some dog I can put a leash on. I know he made a mistake, but he's just a kid, you know what? We'll just leave. We wouldn't want to ruin your evening any more than we have.
Perfect! Arthur took Charlie's hand, and they left. I wanted to stop them, but I was too mad. Later that night, when I calmed down, I realized I might have been too rude and called Arthur up, but he didn't answer. He didn't even show up to school the next day, and neither did Charlie. So I went to his place to talk to him and saw Charlie crying on the porch. What's wrong?
Arthur wasn't here when I woke up this morning, and I don't know where he went.
Did you call him?
He left his phone behind.
Then why didn't you answer when I called? Anyway, don't worry, we'll find him. But till then, you're coming home with me.
No, I don't like you.
You don't have to like me, but I'm not leaving you alone till Arthur gets back.
Ugh, so annoying.
We waited the whole day for Arthur to show up or get in touch, but he didn't. By nightfall, I decided to sleep in the lounge and offered Charlie my room. If you need anything. The next morning, Arthur was still a no-show. I couldn't reach his mom either, and then remembered he told me she was out of the country on her honeymoon. Next, I asked his friends and colleagues, but none of them knew where he was. Eventually, I contacted the police, but even a week later, they had no news of him, and I was worried sick. What could have possibly happened to him? Meanwhile, Charlie refused to go to school or shower. He mostly kept himself locked in my room and reacted rudely to any nice gesture I made. I was losing my mind. So I turned to Dad for help, and he promised he'd get a word out to his colleagues in the army to track Arthur down. I still don't know what to do with Charlie. He shuts me down every time I try to talk to him.
He's been through a lot, Alicia. What he needs is some distraction to keep his mind off things. After your mom left, you were all over the place. That's why I built such a strict routine for you, so you wouldn't have time to think about her. Maybe you should do something similar.
I decided to give Dad's advice a shot, and the next morning, I walked to Charlie's room and woke him up. Get up! We're going out!
Is Arthur back?
No!
Then let me sleep and go away.
Nope! You're getting up right now! Charlie resisted, but I dragged him out of bed, and somehow we made it to the bus stop. He kept cursing me the whole way, but I didn't care. And minutes later, we were at our destination, the paintball arena.
I'm not going in there.
Why? Too chicken to lose?
As if you're on.
Charlie and I had a great time at the paintball game, and it was the first time I actually heard him laugh. Afterwards, we went to a trampoline park and jumped our hearts out. By the end, he was so tired he could barely walk. So I called a cab and took him to my favorite burger joint. But he just stood at the entrance and stared. What? You don't like burgers?
No, it's just that this was my favorite place to come with my mom. Every weekend we'd come here and play our favorite songs at the jukebox machine. And now she doesn't even call me, and Arthur's left me too.
Arthur will be back in no time, I promise you. He loves you a lot, Charlie, and no matter what, we'll always be here for you.
You too?
Yes, me too! Charlie cried and hugged me tight. For the first time, I saw him as a heartbroken kid who just wanted his family back. Since then, Charlie warmed up to me. We'd have breakfast together, and he would always make my bed when I got home from school. He was a lot calmer and hardly threw a tantrum. I couldn't wait for Arthur to come back and see how much progress Charlie had made, but we still had no leads on him. I wanted to be strong, but with each passing day, my hopes of ever seeing him again were getting dimmer. And it broke my heart. Finally, one night, I broke down in front of Dad. I don't think Arthur is coming back, Dad. It's been weeks and no one knows where he is. If he was in town, we would have found him by now. And Charlie? He's lost his mom and might lose his brother too. What can I even say to him?
What?
I turned around and saw Charlie standing at the door.
You've been telling me all along the police will find him. You said you were sure.
No, I'm sure. He's fine. Charlie, I was just...
Stop lying. Why do all grown-ups lie so much? I hate you. All of you.
And Charlie just ran out of the house. Dad said he'd go after him. And as I was sitting in the kitchen, in despair, the phone suddenly rang. It was the police, saying they'd found Arthur in a hospital close to town. I rushed the location and texted Dad on the way. The doctors at the hospital told me that Arthur was brought in a few days back by the forest rangers. Apparently, he went on a hike and got injured. And since then, he'd been in a coma. I was sitting next to him when Charlie walked in with Dad.
How is he?
He hit his head, but he's out of danger. Doctors say there's a very good chance he'll be just fine. Charlie, promise me, no matter what happens, you and I will never fight again.
I promise I will never scream again, and I will always be a good brother. He will wake up, right?
What do you think?
Hi, I'm Miriam from London. Please like and subscribe. I lived with my parents and my grandma on my dad's side. Grandma was a millionaire, so we lived in a mansion with a pool and even a tennis court. But Grandma was also the meanest lady on the planet. Except to me. When Mom made dinner, everything tasted wrong.
I've never eaten rice this overcooked. I might as well eat bleach for dinner.
But one time, I made Grandma a mustard sandwich and she was blown away.
Look at you, already cooking at 10 years old. My granddaughter is the smartest girl on the planet.
Grandma also showered me with expensive gifts constantly. One time, I helped Dad clean the floors, and Grandma bought me a TV for my room.
Look at you doing your chores. This is what you get for being an angel, darling.
Grandma scolded Mom and Dad for not spoiling me the way she did.
Miriam had a fever yesterday. You two cheapskates couldn't hire a singer or a boy band to entertain her.
Even though she was a jerk to everyone around her, I loved being Grandma's little gem. Whenever my parents got mad at me, I had my grandma to hide behind.
What is this? D on your biology test? Miriam.
Grandma, Mom's yelling at me.
How dare you put that kind of pressure on Mariama? Sweetie, you don't have to study if you don't want to.
My parents really wanted me to become a doctor. When I grew up, they would get me all sorts of medical toys. But all I was ever interested in was paints, clays, and brushes. I often imagined myself as a famous painter and pretended to take a veil off a painting I made. Everyone would tell me I was the next Picasso, and I'd say, "Oh, you're all too kind." One day in 9th grade, I decided to sign up for a painting class, but my dumb parents said I had to take chemistry.
It's time you start taking school seriously, young lady.
We've had enough of your art nonsense.
That was it. I opened my mouth and started to scream. Mom and Dad covered their ears.
What is the matter with you? Are you a toddler?
I think I lost my hearing.
Grandma, they're being so mean to want to take biology. I want to paint.
You two should be ashamed of yourselves. Miriam is obviously an art prodigy and should be painting as much as she wants.
We'll compromise then. You will take biology class, but we'll hire a tutor to give you private art lessons.
Really? Really? Oh, thank you so much. I knew I was being a little bratty, but if I could take private art lessons, so be it. My art tutor turned out to be a girl from my school. Her name was Layla, and she was in the 11th grade. And I didn't mind having her for my art tutor at all. She was one of the most popular girls in school and looked like a supermodel. I'd always heard about her, but I never got to talk to her before.
I'm gonna help you become one of the greatest painters. Soon you won't even need to go to school anymore.
I sure hope you're right. I didn't know you were an artist, Layla. No one ever said anything.
Nobody really knows me at all, really. I think I'm only popular because of how I look, but I don't have any real friends.
Layla and I spent an hour painting and talking, and Layla was right. She wasn't like most popular girls at all. In fact, she was a little weird. One time, I decided to paint my entire face green, just to see what it would look like. All right then, so I guess we're done for today.
Actually, I wanted to ask you something. My parents are on vacation for like 6 months, so I'm all alone in my house. Can I stay at your place? I'll help out around the house and give you triple the art lessons.
Triple the art lessons? I was gonna make sure Layla could live with us. Oh, for sure. I just gotta talk to my grandma. But my parents happen to be in the same room as Grandma, and they wouldn't have it.
Some stranger living in our home? Are you crazy?
Might as well invite a robber to live with us.
You guys are so unfair. She said she's gonna give me triple the art lessons. Grandma, tell my parents to stop being jerks.
Miriam's right. You two are heartless people, not letting a friend of Miriam's into our home, not letting her follow her dreams. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
I knew then Layla was gonna stay with us for as long as I wanted her to. But as time passed, I didn't just do art with Layla. I also talked to her for hours.
Miriam, how come your grandma's such a bully?
She's a bully to everyone, but not to me.
Don't you worry, one day she'll bully you too.
No, Grandma loves me.
You know, you're kinda naive, Miriam. Sort of like a kid.
I am not.
No, it's a good thing. I wish I was more like that.
Layla said the most confusing things, but I loved every moment I spent with her. Even at school, being with Layla was an adventure. She would do the weirdest things.
Miriam, come with us to the boys' bathroom. We're gonna tape anonymous love letters on the wall.
Are you crazy? Why?
'Cause it'll drive them crazy.
When no one was looking, Layla leaned over to me and whispered,
"Consider this your most important art, how to win over the boy you love."
But I don't like any boys.
Or maybe boys don't like you. You're too. I don't know what the word is.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. Boys just maybe aren't into you. Like I said, you're kinda young for your age.
Layla taped her anonymous love letter to the wall and left me inside the boys' bathroom. I was mad after Layla said that. I even refused to talk to her after school.
Come on, Miriam. Don't be so sensitive. I didn't mean anything by it.
You insulted me. Maybe you are just another mean, popular girl.
I'm sorry. You're right. Sometimes I say stupid things. Sometimes I think there's something wrong with me.
What do you mean? Layla didn't answer. Instead, she took me to this gorgeous hiking trail to paint. I forgot all about our conversation. Layla, do you think I can win the Easter drawing contest, become the best artist in the world, and maybe even drop out of school?
It doesn't work like that, silly. I was kidding when I said that maybe you'll never be a great painter.
You don't think I'll ever be a great painter?
I don't know, really. But did you know that you're the best student I've ever had? Maybe you won't become a famous painter, but you can win the Easter drawing contest and become famous for something else.
Why was Layla always speaking in these weird riddles? Layla helped me a lot, and in the end, with my own effort and her dedication, I won the Easter drawing contest. After the contest, I felt closer to Layla than I had ever felt to anyone before, even though she was still a mystery. Then 10 months later, Grandma started picking on Layla one day. It was totally out of the blue at dinner time.
Dear, I assume your parents are successful painters?
No, ma'am. It's just me who likes to paint. My parents are doctors. But like I said, now they're on vacation.
On vacation? For almost a year, and you haven't displayed your paintings in galleries, started a business, and made something of yourself?
Ma'am, I'm only 17.
By the time I was 17, I was already starting my own startup. Your freeloader is what you are.
Grandma!
Excuse me, but I think I'll go to my room now.
I watched Layla get up from the table as her eyes filled with tears. Why was Grandma being so cruel all of a sudden? I was used to her bullying my parents, but Layla, I could barely stand it. I jumped up to follow Layla. Layla, wait! Don't take what Grandma said to heart. I told you she can be mean sometimes.
Your grandma's right. Miriam, I have to tell you something.
What is it?
I lied before. My parents aren't on a trip. The truth is, I am homeless. After my parents died, I tried going to an orphanage. But they didn't take care of me, so I ran away. And I've been living on the streets so far. I've been able to keep it a secret at our school, but I'm worried one day they'll find out.
Oh, Layla, I had no idea. Listen, if I tell Grandma about your situation, she'll understand. She always agrees with whatever I say, no matter what. But when I told Grandma Layla's story, her face turned white with anger. She looked like a statue.
I want her out of my house. Miriam, I can't believe I ever agreed to let a filthy child criminal into my home. She leaves today, and I'm calling the police.
Grandma, you can't do that. It wasn't her fault. I want her to stay here and teach me art. She's the bestest friend I've ever had. And for the first time ever, Grandma turned her anger on me.
You don't know what you're saying, Miriam. You're just a silly child. Layla leaves my house today, like it or not.
Then something inside me burst. Grandma, I've had enough of your cruelty. You bully everyone around you, and I'm sick of it. You have no idea what Layla's gone through, and you have no idea what she means to me. Without waiting a split second, I ran back to my bedroom to find Layla. But she wasn't there. Where had she gone? All of a sudden, I saw Layla outside the window with a backpack. She was walking farther and farther away from our house. I dashed outside. Layla, where are you going? Layla just ignored me and kept walking. I ran up to her and grabbed her arm. Layla, please don't leave. You were right about Grandma. She is a bully, and I finally stood up to her. I don't care about what she wants. I care about you, Miriam.
I think you better forget about me. It's for the best.
What do you mean? I could never forget about you.
You're not my family, Miriam. I don't have any family. Nobody loves me. I'm just your art teacher. That's all I ever was.
Before I could say another word, Layla left. I tried chasing her. I never knew someone could run so fast. But after miles of sprinting, I collapsed on the ground and I burst into tears. I didn't get home until midnight. Grandma and my parents stood in the living room next to our giant, fancy fireplace. Grandma's eyes looked like they were on fire.
You spoiled, awful child. Yelling at me and then vanishing out into the night. I should have you locked up in jail.
Okay. Let's go easy.
She made a mistake. She's still your sweet Miriam, isn't she?
She was my sweet Miriam. That was before she became friends with a dirty homeless and spoke back to me. And if she keeps painting, she'll be a dirty homeless too.
I don't care what you say, Grandma. I am going to keep painting, even if I do end up poor.
Why don't you show me a few of your paintings then?
I will. I'm really good in my room. I grabbed every painting of mine I could find. Here, look at how many paintings I've done. And you know what? I'm proud of them.
Wow, honey, we didn't know you did that many.
They look beautiful.
Oh, darling. Let me see.
Then suddenly, Grandma tossed my paintings into our giant fireplace. No!
Mom, how could you?
I threw myself on the floor and cried harder than ever. My beautiful paintings were gone, and Layla was gone.
That's it. That was the last straw. We're moving out of your mansion. We're tired of your cruelty.
That's the silliest thing I've ever heard. You can't live without my fancy riches.
But the very next week, my parents and I packed up our stuff and moved into a new place. It was smaller, and it didn't have a tennis court, and I still couldn't stop thinking about Layla and where she could be. Then one day, I found a letter taped to my window. It was signed with Layla's name, "Meet me at our hiking trail." I took the very next bus to our trail and tried calling Layla's name, but there was no answer. Then suddenly, who should I see but Grandma? Grandma, what on earth are you doing here?
Darling, I wrote the note taped to your window. I was afraid you wouldn't come to meet me otherwise. And I remembered this was your favorite place to come with Layla.
You mean Layla isn't here? I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to her.
Sweetie, I'll do anything to help you find her. But first, I want to apologize for being so awful to you and burning your paintings. I love you, sweetheart.
Grandma started to cry and came over to hug me.
I've been a bully your whole life to your parents and now to you. After I saw your face when I burned your paintings, I realized I wanted to change. I love you, Miriam.
I love you too, Grandma, but it's gonna take me some time to forgive you.
I understand. I don't expect you to ever forgive me, but know that I'm here, and my house is always open to you. And if you do ever find Layla again, you both can move back in with me. I'll adopt her.
Grandma left at that moment, and I stood in the middle of the hiking trail, and then suddenly, I saw Layla sitting on top of a rock. Layla! But as soon as Layla saw me, she started to run up the hiking trail. I chased her as fast as I could, but she was just running and climbing higher. Please wait up.
Go away, Miriam.
Layla, please don't run away from me. I raced up the hiking trail and tried to catch up with Layla, but she was so far ahead of me, I couldn't even see her. Suddenly, I heard a loud cry from above. I looked up to see Layla stuck between two rocks. She looked like she was ready to fall.
Please, someone help me.
Layla, I'm here! Hang on! I rushed to Layla as fast as I could and tried to pull her up, but she wouldn't budge.
My hand is slipping. Do something.
I grabbed Layla with all my might, and she was finally free. Layla and I fell on top of each other and started laughing, but suddenly, Layla looked at me.
Miriam, you're all scratched up.
It's fine, Layla. I don't care. What matters to me is that you're okay. I couldn't live without you.
Really? I mean that much to you?
Yes! You're the most amazing friend and teacher I've ever had. I used to be so bratty and babyish. I had my grandma to run my whole life, but you've changed me. Even though we're not related by blood, you are my family.
Do you really mean that?
Yes, Layla, I talked to my grandma. She apologized for everything. And she said if I ever found you, she'd adopt you.
Oh, Miriam, that's the best news I've ever heard. We'll paint up here every day. I'll teach you everything.
We will. Even if we're never famous, I'll always keep painting with you. I love you, Layla.
I love you too.
Hi, I'm Adele. Before you listen to my story, please click like and subscribe. As I lived in an orphanage, my biggest dream was to have a family. But that wasn't easy, especially with me being different. Yup, I looked cute and delicate on the outside, but physically, I was a real strong girl. One day, when I was 3, the warden called me to her room to meet the couple who wanted to adopt me. I was so happy when my potential dad came forward to shake hands. But suddenly, he yelled out that I was crushing his bones. Oh no! What did I do? I dropped his hand instantly and ran off. Needless to say, they didn't adopt me. Another time, it came so close, the couple was about to sign the papers. Just then, a girl threw a ball at me. I caught it and threw it back at her, but it went flying straight into my future mom's face. Ouch! This way, I kept ruining my own adoption chances for years. When I was 10, I sadly watched 2 of my roommates getting adopted, and one of them said to me,
I know you want a family too. There's one thing you can do for it. Try not being yourself when that day comes. You know what I mean?
She was right. If my extreme strength was the only thing stopping me from getting a family, I had to hide it inside. Then one day, another couple arrived, and they seemed just perfect. I crossed my hands behind my back, determined not to mess up this time. To my great surprise, they walked up to me and picked me. Yippee! I'd finally found a family, and surprisingly, they already had a daughter my age. Polly looked delighted to see me and immediately hugged me tight. But the second my parents left, she pushed me away.
Ew! Get off, you orphan! Don't spoil my Gucci dress. Ugh! You probably don't even know what Gucci is! Who knows what kind of slum you were born in?
I stood in shock, but then I saw a bee buzzing near Polly's neck. I pushed her away with force and she just flew. I tried to hold her and stop her, but I accidentally tore her shirt.
Ugh! How dare you, you moron! I'm gonna kick your butt back to your rat hole now!
What? No! I didn't want to go back. I told her about my real strength, apologized, and requested her not to say anything to her parents. And she agreed, but on one condition. I had to do whatever she said. I decided to go by that. Soon, I got enrolled in Polly's school, and when the teacher asked who the new student was, I stood up to introduce myself. Hi, I'm
Polly's maid!
Excuse me. No, I think you're mistaken. I'm no maid. I'm A. Then I saw Polly looking at me with wicked eyes. I pursed my lips and sat down. Later, when I was having lunch in the cafeteria, she came with a bunch of girls and asked me to get up. Why? You want to sit here? I don't mind. You guys can all join me. They all laughed.
Nonsense! Who'd want to sit with a garbage bag for lunch? I just came to tell you to clean my lunchbox. Come on, hurry up.
And she threw her lunchbox at me. Ugh, I had to teach this dumbhead a lesson. That night, when she was sleeping, I lifted one side of her bed with my hands and dropped it down so hard she screamed like some kid in a horror movie. It was hilarious, but she just kept torturing me. The only thing she couldn't ruin was my studies. Yeah, I was so good at it. By the time I was in 11th grade, the teacher announced that I was getting an international university scholarship to study in China.
I'm so proud of you, Adele. I really wonder how Polly could be your sister.
The class cracked up, and I knew that made Polly grow even madder. On our graduation day, I was waiting off stage, getting ready to make my speech. Just then, Polly popped up and whispered,
Hey, Adele, my friend said the day is boring, so let's make your speech fun. I'll teach you. Just say, I'm Adele. I'm in love with the basketball captain. Thanks, and get lost. Nothing else. Got it?
What? No way, I can't do that.
Really? Too bad. I thought you wanted a family.
Ugh, fine. And I went up, but I said something that shook her. Hi, I'm Polly's sister, and I'm gonna say something on her behalf now. Polly has a crush on the school head girl, and she said she won't live without her. So guys, let's all join hands in uniting these lovebirds. The whole auditorium echoed with laughter. I was told to immediately leave the stage, but the satisfaction I got out of it was priceless. I went home that evening, expecting her to burst out. But to my shock, she had locked herself up in her room and wouldn't open it. I asked my parents, but they had no idea. The next morning at breakfast, all my parents were talking about was my scholarship and how they were going to miss me.
Oh, honey, I'm just so happy we adopted you. We're so proud.
Oh, really? Now you're proud of her? Then why did you throw her away like garbage when she was born? And why didn't you tell me she was my frickin' twin sister? Anyway, send her back. I don't want her.
Wait, what did she just say? I'm her twin? I couldn't believe it. But then she threw a paper on my face. It was my birth certificate, and my adopted parents' names were there, which meant they're my real family. I flipped the dining table up angrily, and they all looked ghost-struck. Why? Why did you give up on me? Do you know how much I suffered all my life? Everyone called me a dumb orphan when I'm really not one. Now I think I was better as an orphan. God, it sucks to be standing here. I'm not putting up with your devil daughter or your lying faces anymore. I'm out of here forever.
Adele, please, listen. It's true. You are our real daughter, but we just...
Sweetie, we weren't financially stable then to raise twins, so we had to give one up. But now that we are rich enough for the two of you, we took you back. We're sorry.
But I wasn't having it. How could they even do that to me? And Polly. She'd been the worst twin sister anyone could get. Thankfully, I had my scholarship, and I just flew away to China as fast as I could. There, I stayed in the hostel on the college campus. Adapting to a new place was a bit difficult at first. The food, the people, everything was different. But college started off on a good note. All the scholarship students were called onto the stage on the first day and appreciated by everyone. Soon, we had our freshers party, and my roommates took me shopping to get some cool dresses. As I was trying on a dress, a girl with glasses barged in. I immediately covered myself and yelled at her. Geez, are you out of your mind? Where are your manners? You should—
Shush, please, I'm sorry. I'm just hiding from someone. Ugh, my mom. She wants me to wear this ridiculous dress with antique frills and lace for my freshers' party.
I stood confused, but then her mom suddenly opened the door too.
God, oh dear, I heard you. You're still my little kitty playing peekaboo. Ha, come on, let's try out this dress now.
Ugh, I got mad at both of them. I quickly put on my dress and kicked the door open, but gosh, it broke open and flew off. I ran out. Later, I got to know the girl with the glasses was Fen, my classmate. I bumped into her at the freshers' party again, and she freaked out seeing me.
Oh God, you! I'm sorry. Sorry. Please don't hurt me, the way that you kicked down that door.
And she literally knelt down with tears. Hey, stop! I don't want anyone knowing about that, all right? Can you keep this a secret?
I will. I'll do anything. And I'm sorry for my mom again. She's just— you won't understand. 'Cause your mom's probably not that type.
Let's not talk about that. And hey, looks like you aren't wearing the frills and lace dress. We laughed, talked, danced, and had so much fun. Then she invited me over to her house for dinner. And honestly, I loved her mom. She was so nice and attentive. One day, when we were at the cafeteria, Fen's mom ran inside like crazy, shouting both our names. Fen shrieked and dragged her mom outside. I ran after her, shouting, "Hey, Fen, stop! Don't drive her away or I'm gonna kick you! Now!" They both stopped and stared at me. She's your mom! Not everyone is lucky enough to have one all their life. Please don't shoo away her love. Her mom burst into tears and hugged me. She'd brought lunch for me too, and promised she'd bring it every day. Days passed. I got letters and phone calls from my real parents sometimes, but I totally ignored them and focused on my studies. One day, as I was going to class, I saw Fen on the ground. She was standing with folded hands in front of two boys who were swinging her glasses in the air. What were they doing to her? I ran fast to them and yelled, "Hey you! What do you want from my friend?"
Friend? That's so funny. Mom always says that weirdos stick together.
Oh, we do! Mama's boy! Saying that, I took Fen's hand and started walking away. It got on the boys' nerves. They held my bag and pulled me back. I was fuming already. I just slapped him, breaking at least 2 of his teeth. Fen was so happy. She hugged me tight and took me home that evening, telling her mom about all that had happened.
Oh, Adele, how can I thank you? You know, Fen's been bullied a lot since her school days. There was never a day she came back home without tears. But now she comes home every day and talks happily about you.
That's not a big deal, Auntie. All she needs is some support to stand up. You're making me feel like I'm her big sister.
That's why I brought you here today. Adele, I told my mom about you, and she wanted to give you something you deserve. A family. Would you mind being a part of us forever?
Oh, are you guys saying this for real? I mean, this is a very big decision. You don't have to do this, 'cause I don't want to be a burden. And after all I've been through, I'm far from trusting people, you know? But Fen and her mom were sure of what they were saying. They asked me to take as much time as I wanted to think about it. I thanked them and left for my room. That night, I couldn't help but think about my real family. I still had my mom's number, and I called her. She was so happy to hear from me that she burst into tears. "Just stop crying and listen, please. I didn't call you to say I miss you. In fact, I'm so happy here with some good, honest people. I even found a real mom and a sister who truly love me. They're ready to take me in with them forever. I'm gonna say yes." She just said no and cried out loud. I knew she felt really bad, but what they all did to me was beyond forgiveness. I hung up the phone. After the weekend, I was getting ready for class. Just then, a girl informed me that I had some visitors. I went out to see. It was Dad, Mom, and Polly. What are you guys doing here? Mom ran to me and hugged me tight. Dad had teary eyes too. They both apologized, once again.
Please consider taking us back, darling. You're our treasure. I regret giving you up every minute.
What are you looking at? Polly? Why did I drag you here?
I don't know what to say. I've been a horrible sister. No apology can fix that. But Adele, I feel really bad for everything I did to you. Please forgive me and come back.
She cried. I'd never seen her do that. I went close and hugged her. They all tried to convince me, but I didn't make any promises. My life is good here. I'm going to study more and make my own future. I can forgive you now, but I'm not sure I have the same feelings I had for you before. I'm letting time decide further. I knew I wasn't ready for a family then. I just went back to my college life and friendship.